Mr. Mobile for sure makes some amazing tech videos, and his thumbnails, which are made by the team at Mobile Nations, are even more amazing. So in this video we'll be showing you on how to make thumbnails like the Mr. Mobile. A huge thanks to Arnav from roomierplanet, who also happens to be a graphic designer, for making into this video and showing off his amazing GFX skills. Don't forget to check out his GFX work, which will be linked below with the link to his YouTube channel. And just to let you know that we respect Michael Fisher's work immensely and are big fans of him, and we are not trying to rip off his design or style. This video is just for fun and for you to borrow a style or two from his thumbnails. So without any further ado, let's get started.
Hey guys, Arnav here and welcome to Tech Extract, and today I am on Utsav's channel to tell you how to make thumbnails just like Mr. Mobile. So basically what you'll need for this is two captures from the video you're gonna take it from, and a chalkboard texture, these construction lines, and an arrow icon. So I'm gonna drop all these links down in the description, and you can use these two resource images also if you want to practice it. So first of all, we need to make a new document, and I'm gonna make it 1920 by 1080. And now we need to cut out these images from the background, and here it's gonna be the phone. So I'm gonna cut out the phone, and actually I've already done that, so it might take some time depending on how much complex the image is, but I'm gonna place it right here onto our main thumbnail. Let's take the second image, which I've also cut out, and let's place it on the left side. So here we have a basic layout, and now we are free to experiment a bit with the placing so we can get a better idea of what we're going to work with. So I think with this we're good to go for the basic images we're going to have. So let's import the chalkboard texture, and here we have imported the chalkboard texture, and let's resize it to make sure it fits the canvas or the image. Let's place it below here, and what we need to do now is add the construction lines. So let us take these construction lines too, and let's resize them so that they fit the canvas. Now what we need to basically do is, as we have a blackboard, we need to desaturate these images, which is basically convert them into black and white so that we get a blackboard texture. So we're going to go into black and white and apply the default preset onto this. And now we need to change its blend mode to overlay so that we get that blackboard texture effect. And after we're done with this, we can just press Ctrl E and merge these three layers, and let's rename it to background. We shall unlock this, and I'm gonna delete it. So we have these two images right here. So now what we're gonna do is add the text. So the text which Mr. Mobile normally uses is Babe is New, that's how it's called, and we are gonna set it right here. Wait, and let's increase the size, and let's type our text here, Moto C+, and let's keep review on a separate line. Let's make it white, and we are gonna decrease the spacing. Now this is not going to be by default, it's just something I've done by mistake. And after we're done with this, we need to add these arrows. He always uses them, and as the text here is white, we're gonna make these arrows white too. And we're just gonna control click over this small preview which we can see in the layers window, and we see these dotted lines moving around this, and we're gonna select our color and press Alt Delete, so we get a white arrow here. Now we're gonna move this arrow onto here, and we're gonna keep it at the same base as the text, and we're gonna press Ctrl T and resize it in a way that the height matches too. So it's pretty easy to do that. As you can see, I've got pretty good match there, and I'm gonna space it in a nice way so that it looks clean. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate this layer so that I can have another arrow. So I'm going to press Ctrl J and press Shift plus right arrow key sometimes to get the perfect match, or else I can just move it around like this so that I can do it according to the spacing between the letters. Now that we've done this, let us put this into a group by pressing Ctrl G, and let's name it text. As of now, we've only added the text, so we're gonna add the accents behind the text, over the text later. So let's place it below the images to give this cool effect, which is known as masking, if you know. And as you can see, it's occupying a bit too much. So what we're gonna do right here is I'm gonna resize these images so that they do not occupy too much of the canvas. As you can see, these images are now placed correctly. And what I'm gonna do now is make a rectangle to put over this. So you can choose any color theme you want. So for this, I'm gonna put it below the text. Let's make it some vibrant colors such as light blue or even red, whatever you want. I'm going to take light blue in this case. Let's position it in a nice way, and what we've basically done is add this blue accent, which makes it look extra sweet. So once we have done all this, if there's anything we need to revise, we can do that now. So what I'm basically going to do is that I've seen that the spacing between these two letters is a bit too much, so I'm going to decrease that. I'm just going to go here and decrease it for the C+, but actually I'll have to select the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is take the C+, take the review part and make it a bit above this, and I'm just going to move this back into place. So here we have done this and it's into place. If you want to move it around, we can do that too, but basically we've done our basic outline here. So we have this text with the accents, we have these images. Now let's add some effects to these images to make them look good. So what I'm gonna do here is merge these two images. I do not recommend you to do this until you're done, but as you need to add the same effects, it's gonna be a hassle for you to add them to different ones. So press Ctrl E and let's name them images. And you can take any CC pack from anybody, like a color correction pack, but I'm just gonna add some of my own. So pretty easy to do, and I'm just gonna add basic corrections only to these phones right here. So I think I'm going to use a color lookup table and apply it only to these, and let's change the opacity down a bit, sorry. And now we are gonna group this and call it images. Once we are done with this, it's time to add the final accent. So our thumbnail is pretty much done by this time. So what we're gonna do is add some accents onto here and here. So these are mainly in the form of lines. So I'm gonna make a small rectangle here. I'm gonna extend it a bit so that it's big enough. And now let's make it the same color as our accents so that we get that matching touch. And once we're done with that, let us press Ctrl T, keep on pressing Shift, and let's keep it at angle -45 degrees. Now we can press this check button, sorry, and we're gonna place it somewhere here. Now what we're basically gonna do from here is we're gonna make sure they look uniform and good. I'm gonna duplicate this so that I get many of these rectangles. So once I have pressed Ctrl J and duplicated them, just gonna press the down arrow twice or thrice or 4 times or 5 times, and I'm done with another accent. Press Ctrl J, a few down arrows, another accent. Keep on repeating this process until you get this, and here is where that long rectangle comes in, because if you made it a bit short, it would have creased till now, and what would have happened is that you would have extended a line and it would have made it very non-uniform. So I have added enough accents right here, and what I'm going to do is add some right here. So let's group them and call them top left. Okay, so once we've added these accents, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add some on this side, and this side is gonna be a bit different. So what we're gonna do is add these cross lines which look really cool. So what we're gonna do for this is we're gonna create rectangles, and actually I'm just gonna duplicate these ones, but these are actually shapes, so I don't think I will do that. But let me take a similar width as these ones. Let's make it the same color as our accents, and what we're gonna do here is gonna make it angular, like 45 degrees, and let's move it right here. Now we are gonna duplicate this rectangle, and we're gonna make one at 90 degrees. And what we're gonna basically do is make a cross point at these rectangles so that we get this arrow kind of line. And we can change the angle if you want, but this looks pretty good. And I'm gonna press Control E to merge these layers. Now let me change the angle of this. I'll change it to something like 45 degrees, and I'm going to place it at a equidistant to these places, to these points. Somewhat like this. And now basically it's again, we're gonna just duplicate it, press it around here and here. So I think I have to merge these two rectangles. Press Ctrl J. I have two more, and well, we can do this in the same way we did earlier. Shift and arrow and keep on doing it. And I'm just gonna do it basically some more times, and it's not much accurate because he uses a lot of gradients, but I didn't want to make the tutorial too complicated, so I'm just doing basic stuff right here. And also I do not want to completely steal his idea, so that's another reason. So let us keep it in a way so that these lines are equidistant, pointing at the wrong direction, I guess. Okay, this looks pretty cool. So basically we are gonna add some finishing touches. I'm gonna duplicate this rectangle and make another accent. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. I have put in a lot of hard work in actually finding the resources he used and thinking to a method how to like duplicate the style of thumbnail he makes, and I am sure that you'll also learn how to make them through this tutorial, but I do not recommend you to use them on your own because it's something which is stealing his originality. But this video was kind of like for educational purposes, to go and show you how much hard work he puts into his thumbnails and how you should appreciate him as a YouTuber.